Let me come take this with me.
Don't expect anything less than the #1 rated Caribbean show. Caribbean vibration. Caribbean vibration. Caribbean vibration.
You're watching Caribbean Vibrations, and we're at the Winchester Dance Theater with two amazing choreographers, Miss Natasha Powell and Jasmyn Fyffe. And we're here because we're getting a little sneak preview of the Gimme One Riddim show that's coming up. Was it March
27th to the 29th.
And where is it at?
At the On Wave Theater at the Harborfront Center.
Okay, so now you know, so I expect to see you there. But I got to ask you guys individually, why dance? What's your love of dance? How did you get started before you became a choreographer?
Well, I started dancing when I was a little girl, so I was like 9 years old, and it was one of the activities that my parents put me in and I actually stuck to. So I started in ballet, jazz, modern dance, and then from there I just blossomed and I realized that I wanted to do this for the rest of my life. So I continued studying, training, traveled to the States to train, across Canada, performing, and it's just become my life now, so I don't think I would do without it.
I like that, I like that. And you?
Same with me. My parents put me in dance when I was I think about 5 or 6 or so. I started in ballet and African Caribbean. I used to do African Caribbean in the basement of my church that I grew up in. And then I danced just throughout. High school, I didn't train. I just we danced in the hallway, made up routines, learned music videos, that type of thing. And then, yeah, I say dance sort of just has always been a part of my life. And I realized when I was at York studying that I felt like dance just found me again. Like my love for dance was just I don't know, it just all came together. And then by the time I graduated, I knew that I wanted to be a dancer choreographer, and I just kind of pursued that. And now I can't see my life without dance at all. So
It's very interesting. You guys took two different paths. Question for each of you: who's like a dance influence or someone that you saw as a dancer that inspired you?
I would definitely say growing up, my parents always brought me to the theater. So I grew up seeing productions like Cats, Showboat, Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, all these productions, you know, as a kid. So I never realized till I was older that those early influences really influenced, you know, how I became a dancer and just my love for dance and theater. But yeah, I would say those are some of my first influences, actually going to the theater and seeing it for myself. And my mom actually used to dance in an African dance group when I was younger as well. So I've seen her dance as well. So that was cool.
For me, it's MJ. It's Michael Jackson, like Michael, Janet, Paula Abdul. Actually, the first company that I saw on stage was Dance Theater of Harlem, and that's when I was like, oh, I really want to dance, because it was just like, you know, seeing other black dancers do ballet was something that was really inspiring to me. So something I wanted to aspire to, and then like Jasmyn, like watching music videos, like old Mariah Carey, like all the old hip hop videos, like just even getting into those Elite Force, a crew out of New York, are people that I really was inspired by. So
I like that. I like that. Okay, so one of the questions, and I asked this to everybody because I interview a lot of different dance troupes. What do you think the disconnection is with the general public and dance? Because people will go to a party to dance, wine. I just came up from Trinidad Carnival, but these things, which is about the culture and about, you know, you guys are doing good work. It's hard sometimes to pull the public in. What do you think that's about?
Maybe one thing I find sometimes the black community is not used to going to theater in general, so sometimes that can kind of be the deterrent, because usually they're used to seeing more of a classical form or a different theatrical form in a theater space. So something that's about our heritage is sometimes maybe it's something they're not used to, or it's unfamiliar still. So I think it's slowly becoming something that's new, and it's still a process and a work in progress. I think the more we start creating work for them to see and that they can kind of connect to or relate to, is the more we can kind of start seeing them come out more. So I think that might be one. Jasmyn may be able to add to that.
No, I totally agree with that. I think it's a cultural thing. I think it's a matter of the black community in general coming together for events that, you know, they all find a common thing in. So like, for example, D'Angelo comes to town. I mean, D'Angelo, it's like everybody goes to see him, but you know, like, for example, if you, as you said, with parties, you know, you go to Redemption or you go to a Soca Fete, everybody's there, everybody's there. I think that's also a cultural thing. Like that's part of the culture to go to those events. I think that going to the theater is probably still just a newer sort of idea of community, you know, because even some Black History events that you go to, sometimes they're well attended, sometimes they're not, or sometimes they're only well attended because it's a Black History Month event, right? So I think it's just a cultural thing. That is just, yeah, a part of the culture. And I mean, in general, dance has a lower audience, just in whether you're black, white, pink, or blue, like it just has a lower audience in, you know, comparison to films, or even comparison to like, you know, other theater things, or, well, I mean, some theater has low audience as well, but you know what I mean? So I think it's, yeah, I think there's many factors involved there. But we had a lot of people come to our show last year, and we're hoping to have tons of people.
Tons more.
Well, you guys will. I'm not worried about that. But that's just on my own personal preference. I like to ask that question because I happened to come to one show to cover, and that's why I started going to all these dancing. So I was like, yo, this is awesome. And I think if people just get the opportunity and just come and see what it's about, then it kind of changes their whole perception of things. Yeah. So what they need to come and see is Gimme One Riddim.
Yes.
So now it's the plug time. So talk to me about Gimme One Riddim. Why should I come out?
Because it's ska music, it's nice dancing, it's nice music, everything just nice.
But you know what? Why did you guys pick ska music? Because that's so not contemporary, you know, and people don't know about. Some people still don't know about ska.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a really educational experience for me and Tasha as well. We literally wanted to do a project together. We had worked together before a few times on a few different projects, and we said, you know, let's come together and work on something. We had a grant deadline due for TD Band Then and Now, almost 2 years, like about a year and a half ago or so, and we said, you know, let's explore some ideas, and we were talking about different types of music and and Tasha was like, yeah, I've always wanted to, like, you know, I love ska music, and I was like, yeah, I grew up with that too. Let's see what we can dig in there, and we just came up with this idea to explore ska. That was the first idea was just let's explore ska music. Wrote the grant and got it, and we said, okay, now let's actually start building a show. Let's start listening to music. Let's start, because we ourselves are learning about what ska is, you know. I mean, yes, I grew up with, you know, listening to the Wailers and all that stuff. My dad was like a huge, you know, ska reggae head and whatever, but it's like, I didn't really know. The stuff that I'm learning, I didn't really know. I didn't know Millie Small sold over 6 million copies of My Boy Lollipop worldwide in the 60s. Like, that is an epic amount, like, piece of Jamaican history, like, this small island, you know, having people that epic in the music industry. I mean, that's a huge milestone that a lot of people don't know. When we go into schools and even in the theater, there's a lot of people that don't know anything about it, and they come to our show and they're like, wow, I actually learned stuff. Like, I learned about this. And so it's a really great historical builder as well, you know, which is super awesome. So.
Now, do you know the connection between Millie Small and James Bond?
Did she do a song for James? No. Up here.
I'm just
Okay, no. Chris Blackwell,
Yes.
Island Records,
Yes.
right? So you know Bob Marley and all that. Yeah. His mom was Ian Fleming, the guy who wrote all the James. That was his lover, and she was his muse. Seriously.
So his mom was who?
Ian Fleming, Sir Ian Fleming, the guy who wrote all the James Bond books. Yeah. That was his lover, because the parents divorced. No, Chris Blackwell's mom.
Oh, Chris Blackwell's mom.
And he wrote all the James Bond books in Jamaica. That's why they have Goldeneye Beach and all that stuff like that. Arakabessa, there.
Look at that.
Little fact, little tidbit. We learn something every day. I do my research before I come to an interview. Anyways, okay. So people want to find out more information about you guys, ticket sales, dates, all that stuff. Website?
Yep. Yeah, so the show runs from March 27th to the 29th at the On Wave Theater. You can check out our website. It's gimmeoneriddim.wordpress.com, and they can purchase tickets on the Harbourfront Center's website. So harbourfrontcenter.com/nextsteps, and they'll see our show Gimme One Riddim. So 8 o'clock show on the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and we have a 1:30 matinee on the Friday as well.
When's the after party?
After party on the Saturday night. The Saturday
closing night. Oh, where we go? I'm just saying. I'm gonna be there that night. You know, I'm about to party.
We're sorting that out. You will know.
Stay tuned for the after party.
Well, again, I want to say thank you very much for having us today. People, it's very important to go support the arts. You know, you got to come check it out, see what it's all about. Bring kids, right? You can bring kids.
My son will be there.
Okay. See? Bring everybody. We want to see this, and you're watching Caribbean Vibrations.